So again, good afternoon to each one of you. My name is Julian Aguilar. So today, I will discuss it with you the models of the narrative. So before we proceed, no, earlier I asked for your consent to record this meeting, and you gave a reactions by reacting hard and like react for to record this meeting. Okay, so today we will explore the different frameworks that help us understand how stories are structured and how meaning is created through uh, through narrative. So to give you a objectives of in our class today or our topic, by the end of this lesson, we will be able to identify the various narrative models, and their theories. Pag-usapan natin yung theories nila, no? Sino ba yan? Sino ba gumawa niyan? And ano ba ang purpose nila? Okay? Number two, explain how each models presents the structure of the story, and also apply these models when analyzing or drafting narratives. Excuse me. So, to give you an introduction about of this topic, we will see here the importance of storytelling in human experience, such as stories shape shape perception, shape emotion, and also shape cultural understanding. And also, storytelling serves as tool tool for communication and also reflection. If you try to go back on your on your elementary days or high school days, may papanood sa inyo yung teacher ninyo, and then you'll write a reflection paper. What are the lessons uh, that you apply, or foresee doon sa topic na pinanood nyo. No? Also, the purpose of narrative models. Diba? Excuse me, provides framework to analyze conduct stories, explain how events are structured and how meaning is created, and also help audiences and engage with the story. Stories and message. So, to give you an overview about our topic, there are three models or major models. We have the classical models, we have structural and sociolinguistic models, and the modern postmodern models. So when we talk about classical models, yun yung Aristotelian and Freytag's pyramid. Pag sinabi naman natin structural and sociolinguistic models, yan yung mga theories sila Todorov, si Propp, si Labov, and si Grimas. And lastly, yung modern and postmodern. Yan yung mga ngayon, yung mga non-linear narratives, multiple perspectives, and metafiction. Okay? So, now, the question is, what is narrative models? As I said earlier, it serves as frameworks that help us analyze, understand, and construct stories. So they describe how events are structured, excuse me, and how meaning is created, and now also how the audience reader or audience experiences the story. If you try to look for a movie, sabi niyo, napakadry naman, common naman yan, yung movie na yan. But still, it's a form of narrative. No? But if you try a unique form of narratives, diba? Just like an example, yung Two Worlds, yung W na series. So the narrative of this particular series, ang hirap intindihin, di ba? Kung panoorin niyo yung Two Worlds o yung W webtoon. Ang daming mga vertical, no? Nagbe-vertical yung story, nagti-twist, may mga kung ano-ano pa ng mga style of model. So, sasakit ulo mo, sumasakit ulo mo. So it's another purpose, no? It's another way of the artist who constructed that particular narrative performance ng palabas na yan na masabing, yeah, ano yan, kasama sa dahilan nila yan kung bakit nagawa. So, kasama pa rin siya, no? Model pa rin siya, kung totoo siya. Now, let's talk about the Aristotelian. So, the first model is Aristotelian model, no? Ito, ang tawag dito is the earliest frameworks of narrative. These models come from Aristotle's Poetics. Kaya, kung alam niyo yung Poetics na yan, written around 335 BC, and Aristotle emphasized that every story must have clear beginning, clear middle, and clear end. No, he called this one as unity of plot, the essential element, and good tragedy. So, yan yun, the focuses on the unity of plot. Story should have clear beginning and clear end. When we talk about the structure, ito yun sila. Ito yung structure, no? Beginning, meaning exposition. It exposed the situation, the characters, the setting, and the conflict. When we talk about the middle, that's the climax. Contains the conflict and the climax, meaning the rising action and the turning point where conflict peaks. So yun yung parang exciting part. And lastly, resolution or ending. Ito yung tinatawag nating falling action and denouement. Conflicts are resolved. The emotional release for the audience. Bumaba na, nagkaroon ng restoration. So parang sa kwento lang yan ni Oedipus Rex. We see how the story moves from the prophecy. It exposed in the story of Oedipus Rex the prophecy noon sa kwentong yon. The Oedipus discovered the truth and finally to his tragic downfall. So this is the example of Aristotle's structure creates emotional impact. So nalaman niya yung about sa propesya, nakita niya yung katotohanan, at nangyari sa dulo, siya ay nagkaroon ng tragic fall. Okay? So at least naintindihan natin yun. Ganun lang yun. No? Beginning, climax, and ending. Now let's talk about the Freytag's pyramid. Or they call it the dramatic structure. It's from ano po no, it was from or it was written or theorized by Gustav Freytag of 1860. So he is a German dramatist. No, he expanded on the Aristotle's idea, yung ano po, five-part structure. So there are stages that he created. No, he studied. Yun yung exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and denouement. So same mas ano lang din Aristotle. May specific lang. Exposition meaning it expose all the setting and character. Rising action, developing the conflict and the tension increases. So that's the start of the conflict. Diba? Pag sinabing climax, yun na yung turning point. The story's most intense moment. The turning point or the moment of greatest tension. And falling action, meaning that the events that follow the climax and lead to resolution. And lastly, resolution. So that's the story concludes and the conflicts are resolved. Meaning, conflict is already settled. Nagtapos na yung kwento. Parang kwento lang yan ng Romeo and Juliet. The exposition introduced the feuding families. And then, pinakita doon sa storya, may problema itong dalawang pamilya na to. So that's the exposition. Rising action leads to the secret marriage. Ngayon, Mahal nila isa't isa, nagpakasal silang dalawa, si Romeo and Juliet. Next climax, when Romeo kills Tybalt. So ngayon, so nangyari, pinatay niya si Tybalt, at finally, tragedy resolves with their deaths. So yun na yung nangyari. Nagkabati sila, nagkaroon ng falling action, namatay silang dalawa, si Romeo and Juliet, nagkabati yung pamilya nila. So yun yung naging resolution sa kwento. That's the technique of the. Okay, now let's talk about the Todorov's narrative theory or the equilibrium model. Ito naman ay ginawa ni Stepan Todorov, who proposed the model of focusing on the balance and disruption. So dito yung papasok yung equilibrium. Equilibrium, pag sabihin, the word is in order. Maayos pa yung balance. Excuse me. Normal nangyari. Disruption, there are problems na lumapit sa kanila. Something happens to disturb the peace. Meron nagkaroon ng merong epal, yun na salita, no? May epal na dumating. Sinira niya yung kapayapaan. Recognition, the protagonist realizes the disruption. Meaning, the character of the story realized the main problem. Sino bang naging main problem? Story na yun. Number four, attempt to repair, efforts to restore order. So ito na yung attempt to repair, meaning, papasok na tayo saan? Sa laban para bumalik yung kapayapaan na hinahanap. A new equilibrium, we call it a new normal, is established, often with growth and change. Meaning, natapos na. Dahil sa naging ng hero natin, na attempt niya to repair the problem and also to make another peaceful story, nagkaroon po ng bagong equilibrium or the new balance or new equilibrium. Just like the story of Cinderella. Di ba si Cinderella, ano lang naman siya, di ba? Yung maayos naman yung buhay niya, nagluluto lang naman siya, kumakanta siya kasama ng mga hayop. Nagkaroon ng disruption. Then she forbidden to attend the ball. O dahil diyan, dahil sa gusto yung umattend sa party ni Prinsipe, ayan, doon na nag-start ng kanya pong problema. Then recognition happens when a fairy godmother appears. So na-recognize siya naging problema, kailangan ng pumasok dyan yung fairy godmother niya, no, para tulungan siya. And next is repair is the magical transformation. And the new equilibrium comes when she marries the prince. So nakita nyo, no, yung equilibrium, the model of equilibrium. So doon natin pwedeng mabasihan o gamitin as pattern for the narrative theory. Now, let's talk about the props morphology of the folktale. No? Vladimir Prop is a Russian formalist who studied more than 100 folktales and found the common patterns. Imagine niyo, no? Na-identify niya yung mga 7 character roles from the hundreds of folktales. And he identified 31 narrative functions and 7 character roles na lumalabas sa story. So, let's example here, no, yung hero. Yan. The villain, the donor, the helper, the princess and her father, dispatcher sends hero on a quest, and the false hero. No? Just like the story of Snow White. The villain there is the queen. The donor is the huntsman. Diba? The helpers are the 7 dwarfs. Tapos yung natin hero dito si Night Shine, Prince of yung prinsipe, ba? Princess, siyempre si Snow White. Di ba? So, nakita niyo yun. No? Props model shows how character perform consist roles that advance the plot. Next, the Labov's social linguistic model. So now let's talk about the social linguist na si William Labov. Who studied how people tell stories in their daily lives. So it describes here on how the oral stories are structured in everyday speech. So there are 6 components in an oral narrative. Yung abstract, pag sinabing abstract, short summary of what the story is about. Orientation, complicating, action, evaluation, resolution, and coda. So parang ano lang yan, di ba? Parang chismis lang yan. Kailangan dapat magbigay ka muna ng maayos na abstract. Alam mo ba sis, di ba, na napuntis si Juana de la Cruz. Yun ang abstract na yan. O ngayon, present mo na yung orientation. Pakita mo kung sino nakabuntis, ano nangyayari sa kanya, saan siya nabuntis, kailan siya nabuntis. Diba? Pangatlo, complicating action, the sequence of event. Bigay mo na yon. Nang una kasi, pumunta siya ng nakaraang buwan doon sa kanyang jowa. Nagtagal siya doon dahil nag-ayos sila ng magulang nila. So nakita niyo yan? So may timeline. Diba? And next is evaluation. The storyteller's comment or emotional response. So ipapakita mo na yung bilang isang chismosa, bilang isang narrator, magbibigay ka na ng komento doon sa kwentong yun o sa pagka-buntis na nagalit na. So nakita niyo yun, no? Nakita niyo may evaluation pa na nangyari. So saloobin ko lang, mga ganyan. Tapos resolution, the result of ending the story. Ano bang nangyari? Kaya yun siya na buntis. Nahihirapan sila ng kanyang pamilya. And then coda, returns the listener to the present moment. So yun. Ganun po, no? When someone says, you won't believe what happened to me yesterday. So parang yun lang yun, di ba? Sinabi ko, no, you won't believe what happened to me yesterday. So that's the abstract. The rest follows naturally as the person recounts and evaluates the experience. Gamitin niyo yan, ha? Gamitin yung model yan. Okay? So, next is structuralist. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about structuralist. No, so structuralist model or the narrative semiotics. No, it was from Grimas, French semiotician. Algirdas Grimas offered more structural approach, and he believed every story involved 6 actants that form 3 pairs of opposition. Ano yun? Meron tayong subject versus object, the hero and the girl and their goal, sender versus receiver, the one who sends versus benefits from the quest, and helper versus opponent, forces that assist or hinder the hero. Parang ano lang yan, yung palabas ng Lord of the Rings. Si Frodo, he is the subject. Seeks to destroy the ring. So yung ring, yun yung object. So kasi nga, itong ring na to, yun yung precious. Dahil pag may ganun kang ring, powerful ka. Kaya maraming dyan, maraming nahumaling. Diba? So yun yun. Si Gandalf naman is the helper, guides while Sauron, opponent, tries to stop him. So yan, nakita nyo, helper versus opponent. So yun po ang structure ni the structuralist model. Now, let's talk about the modern narrative models. Pasok tayo saan? Yan, sa contemporary narratives or the postmodern and contemporary narratives. So these writers, no, these models, writers began to experiment with the nonlinear narratives, the multiple perspectives, the metafiction, stories that reflect on their own story. Diba? Yan. Non-narrative meaning events out of chronological order. Kaya example natin dyan yung mga flashbacks, mga fragmented time. Sinabi multiple perspectives, several narrators or the viewpoints. So maraming ganyang mga story, di ba? Na may story si bida, may story si kontrabida, may story si nanay ng bida, may story ang tatay ng kontrabida. So multiple perspectives. And meron din tayong metafiction. The story reflects on its own storytelling process. Just like the story of yung Mayday Eve by Dick Joaquin. Yan, mga non-linear narratives yan. Marami mga flashbacks. Yung mga ibong mandaranggit. Yung multiple perspectives naman, pwede natin magamit yan yung Tondo, yung kay Alfredo Lim, yung dekada 60 ni Luwalhati Bautista, tsaka yung Gapo ni Luwalhati Bautista. So, tawag dyan ay ang story dyan, ng final structure is more on multiple perspective. So, there are problem there na yung social and political struggles sa Olongapo. Ganun din sa dekada 60, yung mga experiences ng mga viewpoints ng mga bata during the martial law. And lastly, yung metafiction. Mga example natin dyan yung kwento ni Mabuti, ni Genoveva Matute, no? At yung mga kagilalas na pagkipagsapalaran ng Juan de la Cruz, ni Rene Villanueva. Hindi si Joel, ha? Okay, so to give you conclusion, to summarize this topic, these models offer a different lenses for understanding narratives. And also, tignan natin dito yung Aristotle would focus on unity and emotional impact. Freytag naman emphasize the dramatic structure. Si Todorov naman explore the disruption and the restoration. Si Labov ay analyze the oral storytelling. Si Grimas naman is examine deep narrative roles. And then yung mga modern theories naman challenge the structure through experimentation. So each model provides unique insights. And as readers, also as writers, as teachers, students, understanding this helps us appreciate not just what the story tells, but how it tells. So the central insights here that all story, regardless of form or origin, follow recognizable structures. Tayo marunong tayong gumawa ng storya. Diba? Pero, hindi natin alam kung anong klaseng structure yun, anong model yun. But now, alam mo na, aware ka na kung ano yung mga structure na dapat kung sundin. Narrative models highlight how meaning and emotional are organized within the story. Okay? Diba? Kasi bakit? Kaya nagkaroon ng emotion yun, kaya siya naging effective na napaka-emotional ng part ng story na yun. Meaning, effective story siya. And next is comparison perspectives. Sinabi natin classical models, it emphasizes unity and coherence and structural balance. When we talk about modern approaches naman, emphasize diversity, experimentation, and self-awareness in the storytelling. So let's talk about the value of understanding the narrative models. It enhances here the literary and the media analysis. O ngayon, may alam na kayo, kaya nyo nang mag-identify. No? Anong klaseng model to? Diba? Develops critical thinking, storytelling skills, and encourages reflection on how the narratives shape our personal and cultural identities. So now, you try to reflect about the topic that we discussed. You ask yourself, how do the structures of stories shape the way we understand the world around us. Let's try to reflect this question. So maybe I'll going to give my own response here. The structure of a story guides how we experience events, and also understand the characters, and lastly, interpret the messages. For example, a story with an introduction, a clear beginning, a clear middle, and a clear end, tulad yung Aristotle model, helps us to see the cause and effect and understand the conflicts and draw the lessons. So in this way, the stories do more than entertain us. They shape our ideas, shape our emotions, and lastly, even the way we perceive the world. So, who would like to uh, agree? Those who agree with me, no? Gano'n ang nangyari sa atin bilang isang manonood, bilang isang mambabasa. 'Di ba? Kahit sabihin mo that you talk about, anong tawag dito, we talk about some person here, mga kakilala natin, may mga reflection pa rin yan sa dulo, 'di ba? Ayoko maging katulad niya, 'di ba? Hindi man lang ano ba naman yan, hindi man lang parang hindi naman pinalaki, hindi ka ba love ng mama mo? Pero may reflection. Kahit pangit yung ugali sa iyo ng kaaway mo na pinag-uusapan ninyo at binigyan mo siya ng label, but still, you'll try to reflect how blessed you are, di ba? Ang pangit naman ng ugali niya. Buti pa ako, pinalaki akong tama ng... May mga ganun, di ba? May mga ganun tayong iniisip. At sana, hindi din ako maging katulad niya. Di ba? Yung mga ganun bagay. So, ganun lang din yan sa storya. Di ba? Sa storya na ating pinapanood, binabasa, no? Kasi sila yung nagtuturo sa atin. Paano tayo maging, hindi para maging buo, kundi paano natin ipakita, no, i-showcase sa mga bawat hakbang natin. No? Sa mga bawat hakbang natin ng pagkakilala sa mga karakter na makikilala natin sa totoong buhay at ganoon din sa mga sitwasyon na kailangan nating harapin. Now, I'll be giving you, let's say, here are the references. Siguro this would be your activity next week. You try to scan the QR code and you're going to do this activity. Very short lang naman to. No need to give your wholehearted whole life here to answer this. You try to read the Little Prince individually, and then you choose one literary model to analyze this text. So you apply the chosen model by following its specific structure. Scan the QR code to access the reading material. Check nyo nga kung gumagana yung reading material natin. And also, here are the criteria for our uh, for checking. So example ko lang ito. No, for example, yung story ng Snow White. Diba? Ano ba to sa Snow White na to? Kita ninyo. Sa Snow White, the Propian analysis. Ginamit ko dyan yung kay Prop. So I give my introduction, short introduction, and then I answered individually. No, or kahit di naman maglagay ng number eh. Basta you discuss it, no, you highlight it and discuss it sa inyo pong uh, sagot. And then yung conclusion niyo. So bakit po prop? Yung kay prop na model. Because I wanted to emphasize the characters of the story. So ganun din dito. Maganda rin gamitin itong prop na to dito sa Little Prince. Kayo bahala kung paano ninyo i execute it. So thank you very much. And I hope that you learned something from me. So deactivated yung QR code. Sige, ayusin ko na lang, ha? Okay, magalit. Nobody's perfect. And bigyan ko kayo ng bigyan ko kayo ng I'll be giving you the ano, this video recording and at the same time the link ng atin pong ang tawag dyan, ng libro na yun. So, questions. Sir, Google Drive po ba ilalagay po? Sa Google Drive. Yan. Sa Google Drive tayo. Okay, so I think that would be all today. And I'll stop the recording and we'll give you this one or this copy once the Google One uh, uploaded the video in our Google Drive. And maraming salamat and God bless.